What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. I want to start by saying that I have been very absent from YouTube. Um, I've just taken on a new job and it's been consuming most of my time. Initially, I just want to talk about like what I've been going through, and I believe that I am open to talk about this. I'm not going to disclose the company name, but they are a very well-known company, especially in the beauty community. And initially, upon being hired, I was very excited about this position. I was just really, really excited just to have like a new opportunity to be able to be a part of something that I enjoy doing. And it turns out to be completely just something that I don't like. I would just say that the customers are awesome. Co-workers are really cool, but management, no. Now, I've always had, you know, kind of like a prideful thing where I didn't like for people to talk to me in a certain way. And, initially I felt like it was me. Like, okay, Quisha, maybe it's you. But as time went on, I started to realize, no, it's not you, and you need to speak up, because if you don't, you'll continually be treated like this, continually or continuously. Continuously be treated like this. It's really a struggle for me because the manager there, she talks at you. What's a really big issue for me is that people will kind of be a little manipulative in the way that they speak to you. Like, if something's going on where I get emotional, now it's like, oh, you're being emotional. Why are you emotional? But you caused this, like you sparked this up, and now you asking why. For me, that's like a manipulative trait, and I just can't. I don't want to work under anybody where I feel uncomfortable. So if that means that I have to say, you know what, thank you for the opportunity, but I think I will be putting in my resignation. That's just who I am. I'm not here for the money. I always been a person that, if I'm passionate about something, I want to do it. But what I've realized is that a lot of people connect money to everything. So it's like, oh, she ain't gonna, she won't do this because she need us. But no, you need me. And I've been seeing this over time that I'm needed. So if I'm not being treated as such, then I need to go. I need to go. But I'm not gonna lie to you, my experience with the hiring process, amazing. I was just really grateful for the opportunity. But once I got there, I wasn't retaining information, maybe not as quickly as everybody else, but I wasn't given the space to be comfortable in that as well. So it's like, I'm anxious, I'm nervous, it's very intense, very uncomfortable. I can't work like that. And the manager is like, oh, well, if you feel like I'm making you uncomfortable, that's an excuse. Because if you're uncomfortable with me and you can't tell me what this product does, then I know you're uncomfortable with the customers and you're not telling them the right information. That's not true. And that's unfair for you to say, because that's something that you haven't experienced. Obviously, that's not your experience. So you cannot say that because I'm not comfortable with you, I'm not comfortable with customers. That's not true. And a lot of times when I try to like voice my opinion and voice the way I feel about things, you're being defensive. But no, I'm not being defensive. I'm having a conversation with you and you're being defensive. You're fighting at every word that I say. I'm trying to talk to you. You're not trying to talk to me. You just want to give me commands on what to do and not receive anything from me. When I feel like I'm not being listened to, as anybody else would feel, I draw back. I can't do it. I cannot work with people who don't appreciate who I am. I cannot work with people who don't have any empathy. You know, like everything is sales, sales, sales. You don't care about your employees unless they're selling. And that is where I draw the line. I'm not anybody's flunky in sales chick. I want to use another word, but it's not appropriate. And I really need to calm down, because it's been like ever since I've been really like experiencing all of this, I've just been out of character. I've been overwhelmed. I've cried. It's just too much. I shouldn't have to go through all of this at a place where I should feel comfortable being, you know, especially if it's something that I'm passionate about. But my bad, because I didn't consult with God on this. I just thought that, you know, it would be the best thing for me to do because it was something that I love. So that's why we have to be careful and not consulting with God and going forth with different things, because when you don't, you'll end up in very toxic situations, very toxic environments. And yes, it was very toxic, and it is very toxic, because if I'm not comfortable being there and if I'm feeling belittled, then this is toxic for me. This is really the enemy, and this manager is really being used by the enemy. And it's not just me. I've gotten this from different people. So it's not that, you know, I'm just being the black, angry, bitter, defensive black girl. No, I'm not. This is true for many other people. So I know it's not just me. And I really want to reach out to her manager and really talk to whoever that is about this, because this is very uncomfortable. It's very uncomfortable. It's very much not right. And there's just a lot going on. There's like comparisons being made. As a manager, you should never be comparing your employees to one another, especially not, you know what I'm saying? It was just too much. And like, I read reviews online about this company, but I never would have believed this is really what's going on. I've heard things about other people that I shouldn't have heard that came from management. So that's also very bad. You know, and I'm not a person who wants to be that person that's like, I'm going to tell your boss, I'm going to get you fired, because I would never want to have to be on that end of the stick where somebody's telling on me and I lose my job. And I don't know anybody's financial situation. I don't know how people live. I don't know how they eat. And that's the same thing for me. I'm considerate, so why not be considerate of me? You don't know what I have going on at home. You got me traveling all over the city and all outside of the city. I'm paying $25 to get here and $25 to get back, which is not a problem. It's not an issue if I'm being paid from you guys, but I haven't even received pay from you yet. So I'm taking the little money that I had to get to where I'm going. You don't know my situation. Like, people are not considerate. And I have a problem with that. I have a problem with you when you're not considerate of what I have going on, because I'm very considerate. I'm very honest. I'm very respectful. So when I'm not getting that in return, it's like, should I really be here? Should I really be accepting this from you right now? Should I really be humble? Because I've been very humble, and this is all I've been getting. Like, literally, in my face. I have cried because I was overwhelmed, because I wanted to draw back to, or result back to who I was. But I understood now that I'm older, and I can't go back to the little girl who would get mad and go off. I have to grow up and handle things in a much mature way. So the only thing I could do, because I couldn't speak, was cry. And that's what happened. But for people, they see tears and they think of you being weak or you being defenseless, if you will. So I had a very interesting experience with this company. I'm going in tomorrow. I'm going to see how it plays out. But if it's not what it should be, then I'm going to have to resign. And, you know, if you are looking at this video, if you don't get anything from this video, do not compromise for some money. Do not compromise for some money. We have to understand that God is in control, that He will take care of us. I'm a witness to God will take care of me. So I'm not worried about the money at the end of the day. But the experience was great. Like, up until a certain part, but I just can't. I need people to handle me better. I'm worthy of that. I don't deserve to be handled negatively or handled very disturbingly, because that's how I felt. I'm very disturbed. And as a manager, if you're watching this, you should be more empathetic of your employees. You should care more about them over sales. That would actually help them sell if you cared more about who they were as a person. And, just a lot of other things. Just really take into consideration that we are all people. We all have emotions. Regardless of if we're at work and we have to put on our big girl panties, we still have emotions at the end of the day. Sometimes they could get out of control depending on how much you provoke somebody and depending on what area of life they've come from. Because, everybody don't come from the same place. We all haven't had silver spoons and great lives. Everything has not been like that for everyone. So we got to take that into consideration when we're talking to people certain ways, and be careful of how we're handling one another. So with that being said, I really wish that I could disclose information about the company. I have to really go back and read. But just for now, just really be careful and do major research on companies that you would like to work for. I am a licensed esthetician, and that's really all that needs to be said. So if you are a licensed esthetician, if you are also into cosmetology, do your research on which companies you want to work with. And I'll just leave you guys with that. But this experience has been very stressful for me. I really do feel like I've had the manager from hell. Like, you could have people that are so good at first, or even just good, and then switch up. And you like, what did I do to deserve this? Like, I tried to be a good person. I tried to handle things well. I tried to be humble and considerate, but I'm not receiving that same thing in return. And if you feel that you're not, then you don't have to compromise and settle for that just for a few bucks. For me, I know for some people it's not as easy to look at it that way, but for me, I don't have children. I'm young. I can go and do whatever I want. I can go and do whatever I want. I also can be offered more opportunities. So it's not the end of the world for me. It just really allows me to take a stand for God, because I had just started filming at church on Sundays. So for me, that was a really big thing because that is something that I really enjoy. So it was hard for me to listen to somebody tell me, oh, Sundays you may not be able to go to church. And I had just made this commitment to church. So with that, I'm also taking a stand for God. So you just have to be careful what you do and, be very aware of where you are positioning yourself to be and what energy you are allowing into your space, because it can be very toxic to who you are as a person, and it can really stunt your growth if you choose to deal with that. It can really break you, and I choose not to be broken. I choose not to be handled improperly. So with that, I'm gonna leave you guys, and I thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know below if you've experienced this before, because I know I'm not the only one. I know that I'm not. So let me know, and let's talk.